Welcome to the Built After Hours podcast, where we talk with the bold entrepreneurs who built their service businesses after the world clocked out. Real talk, real risks, real results. Are you ready?
Welcome back to the Built After Hours podcast. I'm your host, Edwin Eaton, and today's episode is a special one. I'm joined by an industry powerhouse, someone who's not just survived, but thrived in the cleaning industry for over 25 years. For the past 19 years, she's been building a residential and commercial cleaning business that's not only respected, but also admired. She's all in when it comes to investing in her team, her growth, and her personal brand. Chances are, if you've been around the industry long enough, you've seen her on TikTok lives, caught her dropping gems on social media, or watched her light up the stage at one of the many live events she speaks at. But let's bring her onto the show. Let's welcome CEO and founder of Quality Plus Building Services in Los Angeles, Karla Carpio. Karla, welcome to the show.
Hey, Edwin. Well, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited that you said yes to be on the show. So this is great.
Yes. Thank you so much. I've been one of your followers. I met you a couple years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't even remember how we met. I know down in San Diego or San Jose, I think that was the first time we actually met in person. But I don't know if it was through social media, through LinkedIn, or how we met each other.
Yes, I believe it was at one of the events that we've gone, and ever since I think we connected and we had a good chemistry as two good colleagues. So thank you so much again for having me here, and I'm looking forward to what this fun chat is going to lead us to.
Yeah, this will be fun. And, you kind of mentioned it, meeting in person at some of these events, and we're going to dive later into the show about this because you do a lot of those. So we'll talk about that. But I mentioned in the intro that you've been in the cleaning industry for 25 years. I've been in it 20, you've been in it 25 years. I mean, it seems like that just makes us seem old that we've been in the industry for so long. But what is it about the industry that has kept you around for so long? Why do you keep doing it?
You know what? It's funny that you just say that because it's true. When I tell people that I've been in the industry for 25 years, like, what? 25 years? And when I hear it, I'm like, wait, 25 years? That does sound like a lot.
Right.
But really what keeps me in the industry is just the people that I get to employ. My mother, she's obviously the main reason why I'm in the industry. Just being able to give an opportunity to other people. Because that's one of the things that I love about our company is that it's not just about hiring somebody and just bringing you to our company. It's about, I love to get to know everybody that works for us. And if I see a talent, I just want to polish it. And I just want to bring the best out of you.
That's cool. It's building a company culture. And I see it on your social media posts and everything, and all the posts you have of your employees are always smiling, right? And you're
Yes.
always there. You're doing some kind of training.
Oh, they better smile. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah, smile. I'm taking a picture. Here we go. But so 25 years in the industry, but not all 25 years you've owned your own business, right?
That's correct.
So how long have you owned your own business?
So on my own, I've been since 2006. So I started in February. I still remember February 13, 2006.
So what's that? 19 years?
19 years.
Quick math. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we're going on to 20 years next February.
That is amazing. That's crazy.
Yes.
So, I mean, you went through 2008, the real estate market crash and everything.
Yes.
And I say that because I think you started with residential and you're still doing residential right now, right?
No, actually, we started backwards. We actually started in commercial.
Okay.
And where I started, it was in the city of Burbank, California. I don't know if you're familiarized with that area. And there was a lot of studios back in the early 2000s. So I had the opportunity to work with BET, Nickelodeon, TV Azteca, Telemundo. So those were one of our biggest clients that we had, when I started in the industry. And like you mentioned, in 2008, 2009, there was some changes that happened. And that's when I was deciding if I was going to either just decide not to continue with the business and pursue my career. But no, it's like the industry kept on pulling me always back, and I'm still here.
So wait, so when you started cleaning all these places, BET, Nickelodeon, all that stuff, right? When you started?
Yes.
How do you do that? I get a lot of, there's a lot of new commercial cleaning business owners that listen to this podcast, and I get a lot of calls and emails that everybody's struggling to get out there and get new accounts. And then you just start and you get these big studios. How did you do that? To me, that's amazing.
Yes. Well, you know what? I honestly do think that I was very blessed since I started in the industry. It was my second semester in high school. I started working for a cleaning company, and I was there as a receptionist. So I was only working part-time, and I worked for him for about 6 years, 5 years straight. So I was a workaholic. That's all I did. Work, work, work with him. And I learned the industry so much. He was pretty much my personal coach, my personal mentor. He's the one that taught me everything, how to strip and wax floor. He taught me so much in the business, and he got into investing, and things were going so well for him. And one day he just said, "Hey, Karla, you've been with me for quite some time. Do you want to take over?" And at that time, we had lost quite a few customers already. And I said, yeah, sure. So at that time, when he transitioned everything to me, we had about, I would say like 50 accounts probably. And that's when I decided to go on my own. I was only 22, 23 years old at that time. And that's how I started. So I was that girl stripping and waxing floors, going out in the field, talking to everybody. So just put me to work, and
That's how you do it. That's how you learn, right? That's how you build your business. So I guess the question is, do you still clean some of those studios today?
No, I do not actually. No. So Nickelodeon still in Burbank, but no, we're no longer with them. They became a union, and other accounts, they just closed down or they just moved. BT was bought out. So yeah.
Gotcha. But I mean, that's still an amazing start to start with something, and to put that on your resume too, right? If you're selling to other customers, like, hey,
Correct.
I clean Nickelodeon, I clean BET. I mean, that's pretty cool.
We still have one studio because we did a lot of recording studios. So we only have still one client since I started. We're still with them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, most people that get into commercial cleaning, either they go right into it head first, or they're usually residential cleaning companies that kind of slowly get into commercial cleaning. So you did it backwards. So how did you go from commercial and then that leeway into residential cleaning?
So for me, it was, like I said, it was that change that happened in 2008 and 2009. And I honestly wanted to pursue my career. I wanted to work as a detective, and that was really what my passion was, to pursue that. But later on in the years, I got married, and then I had my babies, and I was like, I can't put myself to work, especially out in the field as a detective and do this type of work. I can't do that. So that's when I said, I have to make this company bigger. At that time, the company was a little bit smaller, but I said, no, I'm a mom now. I want to be present. And my mom, she's like, oh, well, you should consider residential. I'm like, oh my God, no. I'm like, I am not going to people's private houses. I like to have my privacy myself. So I was like, no, I don't think so. But she just told me, she's like, let's do it. Come on. And I was like, okay, let's try it. We tried it, and we became a boom in LA. Our company was rated as one of the top 3 cleaning companies in residential. So we've been very well known out here in LA.
So being in LA, being well known, one of the top residential companies, and you don't have to name drop anybody, but do you clean any celebrity houses?
We do. And I think I've posted a few on our social media.
I've seen some of those. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, what is it like when does the celebrity themselves call you, or is it one of their assistants or something?
They have my number. And sometimes they'll message me. There's just one in particular that I'm a little bit closer to. The other one, probably the assistant will call me.
Karla, cleaner to the celebrities in LA. That's cool. That is cool. So now in janitorial, you went from commercial to residential, and now you're doing both. How many employees do you have? Because we were talking about company culture. I mean, in LA, it's a big market, so you must have a pretty decent sized team.
Yes. So we are going through a different transition right now. So we have about 118, if I have to count throughout, both departments, commercial and residential. But a lot of our commercial now, it's a lot of subbing, thanks to you.
Okay.
You sold me that. So I was like, oh, you know what? I want to see how that is.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's kind of how you throw fuel on the fire. If you really want to grow,
I really like it.
Subcontractors.
I really like it. I was a little bit skeptical at the beginning because when I started in the industry, that was not very well seen. But now I see that it's just normal. Now everybody's subbing everything out. So I was like, okay, let me try it. I'm like, if Edwin did it, then let me do it. Let me test this, right?
That's customers just want their places cleaned, right? So however it gets done, as long as it gets done, then, and if it means you have to do subcontractors, and so be it.
Yes, that's why I was bugging you a lot last year. And I said, you know what, let me do it. And that's where we did a lot of the transition. So that's just among all throughout both of the companies where we are at right now.
Okay. Yeah. So on the commercial side of things, what type of services do you offer? Do you do like stripping and waxing, carpet cleaning, pressure washing, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Very cool. And so you have your own dedicated team or are you out there? Because you mentioned you know how to strip and wax floors. I mean, are you out there still doing it from time to time?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. I don't think
I
can hang anymore. No, your body changes as we get older, and as we have kids, our body is just different. Yes.
Well, I hear you. Absolutely. So being in LA, I mean, residential side, you're cleaning celebrity houses. I mean, that's cool. On the commercial side of things, because I had somebody else on the show previous, Tim, that he's located there in LA as well, and he's doing the subcontractor route. But what type of accounts do you clean? Because I mean, there's a ton of different businesses where you're at. I mean, any business you can think of is there in LA. So is there a particular type of account that you really have that that's majority of what you clean?
So I would say the multi-tenant buildings. So we do have quite a few day porters. I really like those type of buildings. We service a few schools, so those are
Okay.
pretty nice too. And I pretty much, honestly, I think I've done everything in the industry. I had to test everything out and just stay with what I wanted. Yeah, so nothing that I don't think I have not done. I don't think I've done big hospitals. I think that's the one thing I have not done, in restaurants. I've
How about data
cleaned them
center?
like one time cleaning, but nothing that we're there every day.
Okay. Okay. And day porters are nice because to me, I think it's easier to hire because everybody wants to work during the day. I think it's easier. I mean, do you
Correct.
disagree, or is that pretty?
No, I agree. I agree. And those are very easy to manage.
Yeah. And it's nice. So in LA, again, big market. We all know that now, but what are you doing? Because I know you're on social media, but what do you do to stand out from your competition? Because you've got just you've got all the big national janitorial companies where you're at. You got smaller companies, you got medium-sized companies. So what do you do to stand out in your market?
That's a good question. For me, I think it's just being transparent. Just being transparent when I'm out prospecting. I'm still the one that does this part. I really enjoy it. I love to meet new people, talk to them, tell them a little bit about our company. I tell them I'm the one that owns the company. So it's that connection that I have with the prospect, and they like that. So I think that's where we stand out a little bit more versus a national company. It's like a regional that comes out. It's just somebody that comes to a building that makes an assessment and maybe doesn't have that passion like us, the owners.
Right. And everybody's going towards the VAs. I've even heard of people doing virtual walkthroughs, which just blows my mind. I don't understand that. So yeah, I mean, I think you can call it the old school way, right? A handshake
Correct.
and putting a face to the name. I think that makes all the difference. But I
Yes.
want to dive more into sales, but this brings us to our first segment. And this segment is the live sales role play, since we're talking about sales. So Karla, with the live sales role play, we're going to put your sales skills to the test. You got 25 years in the industry, so we're going to see how Karla answers this question. But before that, I need to give a shout out to
Do I
our.
get some type of sticker or price here for this? No, just
Sure,
kidding.
yeah, no, I'll send you a sticker. How about that?
Okay.
But before we get started in this segment, I need to give a shout out to our sponsor. So this segment is brought to you by Scott Growth Strategies. Not getting responses from your email marketing? Let's be real. It's probably because your strategy sucks. If you want real results, emails that actually get open, replied to, and turn into paying customers, then you need Scott Growth Strategies. They're not just good, they're your secret weapon. Get serious, get growing. Check them out at scottgrowthstrategies.com and let the pros take your brand to the next level. So Karla, like I said, live sales role play, I'm going to ask you a question, a common sales objection. I just want to see how you handle this. So let me know when you're ready.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So you're out selling, you're prospecting, and you're having a hard time, but a potential customer hits you with the "we're already under contract" statement. Walk me through what you would say to that potential client when they throw that statement out.
So if that would ever happen to me, I would say, oh, that's great. I love the fact that you have a cleaning company already. That you guys have that type of relationship. But still, let me leave you my information here. We also provide window cleaning. We do power washing for you. If you ever have an event, we can come by, the day of your event, and you can just use it one time. I will never take no as an answer.
No, absolutely. And I don't either. It's not a closed door. So if you're a new business owner and you're listening to this, you still have an opportunity. That cleaning company could mess up tomorrow, and then you were there, you handed them the card, you told them what you're all about. So no, I love that answer. That's a great answer. But we've got you on the show, and I like to call you the social media queen, because it doesn't matter what platform I'm on. I see something with Karla. I go on Instagram, there's Karla. I go on Facebook, there's Karla. I go on TikTok, and she's doing a TikTok live or something that's going on. And it's not like you're just doing it. You're doing it because you're helping your community that you've created. I mean, you're helping the Latina community. But I kind of want to dig into that because a week and a half ago, you were part of an event that I actually had. It was the building leaders event. So you and Chrisia, had that going, and it was an awesome event. I mean, you had, I think it was 100, maybe a little over 100 Latina business owners in that room. I mean, it was crazy. And I don't speak Spanish, and I showed up to this event, but you know, I brought my son Alex, who speaks Spanish, to kind of help me out. But not only that, but you guys had people live on Zoom. I mean, that's just amazing. It's an, you know, it's a testament to the following that you guys have, and the trust that people have in you. But tell me about why you're doing so many of these events, because you're speaking at a lot of events. You and I, we both spoke on the same panel in San Jose, but you're not just doing it in English, you're doing it in Spanish too. So what's the story behind that? Because you have a lot of passion for it.
To me, I think it's more, I really feel I have that commitment, that responsibility with my Latino, my Hispanic community. And mainly it's just, just growing up, seeing my mom, how much she struggled, with the jobs that she had. So all that really, I just kept that in my head. And I just feel like there's just so much to do and to help the community. To get educated, to get guided the correct way. We have this upbringing, with so many limitations, and I try to work on the people's mindset and remove those limitations that they have, those fears, and just get it out. And like I said, it's just a commitment I feel like I have with my people. I call them my people because that's, it's mi gente. That's where I come from. That's where my mother raised me from, and just proud of my roots and everything.
And that's cool. But again, it just seems like you're popping up everywhere, speaking at events left and right. Because I mean, you
I don't know
have
if
one
that's a good thing or bad.
well, I mean, I got to say, if you have an airline miles card or something like that, you've got to be getting miles like crazy with all the traveling that you're doing.
Right. No, just, we started this thing last year. My other colleague and myself, we were having this chat one day, and we're like, hey, Raquel, I'm like, we have to do this. We have to help our people. Raquel has gone through so much as well. And that's where we came up with an organization that we started last year. We did an event with another colleague too. And that really event just pretty much opened doors just for many things, not only for myself, but for my other colleagues too. And even people that went to the event, it opened doors of opportunities for them too. So I'm very thankful for that event that we had last year, because it's been a door of many opportunities for not just myself, but for all of us that are now in the back trying to help and support and just build a strong community now.
Yeah, and it's strong. I mean, the one in Baltimore that I was at, that I was able to be a part of, I mean, you had people from the West Coast, the Midwest, all there for a one-day event. I think what it started at 8, and then it got over at like 8 o'clock, it seemed like, at
Yes,
night.
it was a one day event, so it was pretty long, pretty intense. Same, I came across Krisha through the event that I had. I had the event, like I said, with Raquel and another colleague. Krisha went to our event. Like I said, it was just a door of opportunities for many people. It was for Krisha as well. I guess that's where she saw that she had a passion of helping too. Yeah, she told me, she's like, hey, I have this thing going on. I would love, for you to be part of it. And I said, well, all right, let's do it. And that's where I'm at. I'm that one person that I want to help everybody. So I don't want to commit just to one person, because I just feel like I have a love for everybody. I just want everybody to be together. But I also understand that there's so much in one person's head. And sometimes we don't share maybe the same ideas, but I'll be collaborating in October as well at another event with another amazing colleague that I have a lot of admiration and respect for. And I hope Cinch is going to be there. Same.
I'll be there. Cinch will be there. Absolutely.
Another amazing community in Arizona that we're going to be helping and guiding.
And what I notice at the events, it's kind of a mixture. Well, probably 80% or 90% residential, and the rest of it's commercial. But a lot of them are new business owners, what I'm finding out, and then with Cinch on the software side of things, a lot of them were timid. It's like I think they knew that they needed software, but I think they needed somebody that they could trust. And I think that market, the Latino market, is one of those markets that I think it just gets overlooked for whatever reason. So it's a huge, huge market. What are you dealing with? Because a lot of them are new business owners. Some have been in business for a few years or transitioning from residential to commercial. Like, what are some of the pain points? What are some of the struggles that they're going through? Because a lot of these events you go to, and the speakers are usually up there selling something. They're giving some advice, but then they're selling something. But you're different. You're genuine. You're you, and you're giving actual advice to help them grow. So what kind of struggles are they having that you noticed?
So one thing to what you said about loyalty. So Latinos, we have that. So if I come and I tell them, hey, I really recommend Cinch, they're really going to take my word for it.
True story.
especially if they've seen results behind Karla, then they want to try it. The things that I've noticed with the community is it's just a lot of fear of trying new things. Again, like I said, it's just a mindset, and that's pretty much how many of us were brought up, with all those limitations. We can't do this, we can't do that. I come from a different generation already. I was raised here, so I'm a little bit more Americanized, versus other people that they came here when they were 30 or 40, and they're just trying to build a future for themselves. Yeah, I just think it's just fears to get out of their comfort zone. They're just used to one way, and it's just working with them and helping them to make that transition to try new things. And it's okay to do it. It's okay. This is going to help you to grow. This is going to guide you.
And you can tell that they are loyal. They trust you. They listen. Literally, you tell them to do something or sign up for something, and they literally listen to you. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's a leadership skill. And it's, again, I think I said it before. It's you being you. You're being genuine, and people just, they go towards you because of that. And that's what I like about you too. And that's why I think you and I kind of hit it off, is you're real. What you say is what it is. I mean, I asked you before the podcast, is anything off limits? You're like, no, I'm me. I'll be truthful about everything. So
Yes, you know what? I just feel like I just like to be myself. I feel for maybe, growing up, maybe in my high school years or my early years in college, try to fit in, and you get to that point where you're like, wait a second, what am I trying to impress here? I need to impress myself first, and I need to be real and authentic, and people need to see who I am, and if you like me, great. And if you don't, well, great too. It's okay. And just be myself. I just want to be myself wherever I go. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to, I just want to be myself. I just want to be authentic. That's why I did that new slogan when I mentioned to you last time I saw you about my new logo, where it says real, be brave, and be you. Just be you.
yeah, no, I like that. It's better than my quotes that I do of Pitbull, right? That you give
Right?
me crap about.
Please, no more Pitbull.
Well, so you're busy attending all these, but when do you get time to invest in yourself and actually go to conferences to learn, but not actually speak at them? And I'm sure when somebody sees that you're signed up for their conference, they want you to speak, but do you ever get the opportunity just to sit back and listen to some other experts and learn something from other people?
I do. You know what? I actually, I have this really strict schedule that I follow a lot, Monday through Friday. When I wake up, I do my morning prayer, and then the first thing I'm listening to is like just podcasts from just different people that I really like, people that pump me or motivate me for my day, whether it's just for motivation purposes or just educational. I just finished a program with John Maxwell. It was a very intense. It was online, so that's something I did not too long ago. But yeah, I look for like the time to do all this stuff. Right now, it kind of stopped a little bit. I have two classes or two events that I want to go this year. It's in my list already. So those are, I consider that are part of my continued education and learning more.
Yeah, it's good. You got to have you time. So it's good that you have a routine, and it's good that you're taking the time to invest in yourself too, because you invest so much of your time and energy into other people that you got to do it for yourself too.
Yes, even on my personal time, when I get home, like right now, okay, I'm with you right now, but if I wouldn't be here, I just want to be, when I'm home, I want to be present. So that's one thing I really learned about being present. And I think I really took this more seriously after COVID. I was one of the first one that got infected in my house, and just, having that in my head, that I was in my head, like I said, I was thinking I was going to die and all this stuff. And just thinking that I was going to leave my family. I just learned the importance of time and quality time with family. So ever since, being present is really important for me. Whether if I go out and have coffee with you, I want to be present. I don't want to be on my phone. Besides being it disrespectful for me, I think you deserve that quality time with me.
Good. I like that. And I think that's why your community that you have, the Karla community, is very big. And that's why they listen to you, because you give them the time. You give them the time of day. So that's cool. But you mentioned family, and I know that you're a big family person. And, a couple of weeks ago in Baltimore, it was kind of cool because I actually had the opportunity to meet your husband. He's a really cool guy. And he was just there. It was your anniversary, right? It was your guys' anniversary?
Not necessarily our anniversary. We had it on April 30th. We were celebrating 14 years.
Congrats.
We have 3 wonderful boys. But yeah, it was the first event that he came. He got the opportunity to experience. I was like, you have to come. I'm like, you have to see what I do so you can understand it better. but he's always been in the back. He's always been in the back. I think he's been the person that has seen all faces of Karla and majority of all the faces of Quality Plus. So just having him there that day, I was very, very thankful and very grateful for that. So he could have experienced that, and him. I did a post that day of me and his words. He's not very expressive, but seeing that post of him that day, I was like, wow, it was pretty. Coming from him, I was like, okay, that's not usually Nelson, but it means a lot.
Yeah. And I asked him, I said, so did Karla put you to work here or what's going on? And he said, no. And he was helping out everybody, which was cool. I mean, he was interacting with everybody
like
there.
That.
So he got into it too. So that's very cool. But, you spend a lot of time traveling, going to all these things. And I know you've got kids and there's sports and there's activities and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it sounds like you're making time for everything, right? For your family and everybody, because that's important.
And just recently I decided to take Mondays off because, like you said, I also have to take time for myself. And I never understood the importance of taking time for yourself. I think as females we're a little bit harder. We're a little bit more, I can do so many things. And as we get older, we start making things or putting things in priority in a different level. So just recently, a little bit over a month, I'm like, you know what? I'm no longer going to work on Mondays. It's going to be my day to go either do my hair, my nails, and, just my me time,
Sure.
Do a little bit more reading. I love reading. It's just, just some quiet time. I like quiet time too.
And you need it. The industry that we're in is crazy. So you gotta pull yourself out of any business, really. You got to pull yourself out of it if you're a business owner and just get some you time to clear your mind and kind of reset.
Yes.
That's good. So again, there's a lot of new business owners that listen to this podcast. A lot of them are kind of on the fence about attending these industry events. And you have any advice for them if they're on the fence thinking about it? Some words of wisdom to get them to maybe get off that fence and get moving to one of these conferences?
You know what? I think going to this conferences, I think it's an amazing thing. It changes your whole mindset, like to another level. I had never gone to one until 5 years ago. That's when I started to go. If I would have never gone to the common a colleague that we have, I would have never probably even met you. And I probably would not even be here right now. So going to these events are really good. You learn so much, you network. Going through this type of events, I connected with another colleague and he made a referral to his client here in LA. And now we have like 6 stores with him. So it's always going to have a return for every investment that you make. But one thing I do recommend is whenever you go to this type of conferences or events, whatever you want to call them, do a research of what kind of people will be attending. Because I did go to a few events that I was with people that were making 50 million, 60. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here? But at the same time, it was very challenging. And I loved it because I have a few people that I'm in touch with, and they've been my go-to individuals or people that just motivate me to keep on going and make this to another level.
Yeah, sometimes those are the rooms that you want to be in, the people that are on the path that you want to be at, that are making 50, 60 million dollars a year, and you want to achieve that. Like, these are the people that you need to be networking with.
Exactly. And I've always been that way too. Ever since I was in college, I always wanted to hang around with the crowd that always was ahead of me. I always had that since very young. And I think that's what has always helped me and taking me to other levels. And I'm nonstop, and nothing honestly fears me. I'll take the risk. I love risks. Yeah, that's just who I am.
And sometimes, as we get older, it's one of those things that, we may have had a lot of friends growing up, but our friend group gets smaller because we want to be around the people that are going to make us better. Because if you're around those people that don't, sometimes it just takes you down. So completely get it. But yeah, if you're on the fence, listen to Karla, get to one of these events and network. You might meet Karla at one of these events. Well, you probably will, because she'll probably be speaking at any of these events that you go to. So make sure you get off the fence and do it. But speaking of events, do you remember the very first event that you attended?
Yes, I do.
Which event was that?
I'm allowed to say it here?
Sure.
Okay, so I went to CBF. That was my first event, from cleaning business profits from Debbie Sardone. So since we were so big on residential at that time, that was the first event I went to, and I connected with so many amazing business owners. It was a different level, and I loved it. And I was like, wow, my God, this is amazing. I want to do this again. That's when I had Mateo already. He was probably 6, 8 months. And it was a great experience. That was the first time I went. And then the second one where I was like, oh my God, this is another level as well. It was Ricky's. I loved his event. And
Cleaning
that's where I met
cocktails.
yes,
Yep.
that's where I met all these amazing people, Raquel, Marisol, Chris, the Jaramillos, like Diana. This is, I think that those are like more my intimate circle of colleagues that now we're about to work on another new project together. And yeah, I love that event that I was able to connect with all of these people. We become family after.
Yeah. And there's a bit of an investment in there, but
Yes.
I always say it when I go to the casino, you got to spend money to make money. Right. And so
Right.
it's worth it. You said it, that your ROI in the end, you're going to network, you're going to meet people, and it's going to help you grow your business.
Yes.
So that's good. But hey, so this is leading us into our next segment. And so, Karla, this segment of the show I like to call After Hours Confessions. And so this is your opportunity to share a story about you or your business that no one else has ever heard, or maybe you have a hidden talent that not many people know about. So are you willing to share something with us?
I don't know, Karla. I think I've lived pretty a simple life. I don't think I have a lot of crazy stuff.
Well, I think I told you earlier, we had somebody sing on the show. We had somebody let us know that they were having a baby. And so, I'm sure you got
Yeah.
plenty of stories, 25 years in the business, maybe some stories that nobody's ever heard before.
I think if it's related to business, I think one of the craziest things that happened to us was I remember this one time with one of our customers. She was like, "Hey, Karla," she's like, "I need to meet you at the office." I was like, "Yeah, I'm like, we can make an appointment." I'm like, "When do you want?" She's like, "No, I need you to come now." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is weird." I was like, "Okay, I'm on my way." I had a really good relationship. That's one thing I love to build relationship with my customers. She's like, "Karla," she's like, "just come into the conference room." So it was her boss, and some other executives in there, and they started to play a video, according to me. So when I'm looking at it, it's the people that we had in the building cleaning, and they were in the middle of having some intimacy going on there.
Uh-oh.
But
Oh,
it was very explicit. I honestly didn't know how to react. I was so embarrassed, so embarrassed. And obviously we lost the account. No matter how good the relationship was with the customer, it was just something that they couldn't allow. What made it worse, it was that the two individuals were the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law. So the guy was messing with the wife's sister doing work. So that was, yeah. So I think that was one of the toughest moments I can probably recall. Or maybe even that one time I had to fire for the first time. Yeah, I was very young. So
it's never
yeah,
a dull moment in this industry. I'm sure some network is going to pick up a janitorial company and have some kind of reality show and follow us around, because there's all kinds of stories. Yeah, that's crazy right there.
yeah. When it comes to work, to business, I think that, but just something about myself, I love to write. I love to write stories, or just things that I just have an imagination for. I love to write quotes. That's something that really passioned me a lot to do. Yeah. And well, in my early years, I did some modeling too.
Hey.
Yeah, I know when I was 9 years old, I did this commercial. Yeah, I think the last time I did something was when I was probably 21 years old. That was the last
You
time I
did
did.
Wait, you did a commercial of what?
Yes, it was an M commercial.
Really?
Yes, I think I was about 9 or 10 years old.
Can we find that on YouTube?
I hope. Oh my God, that would be so wonderful.
I'm going to search for it. I'm going
You
to
know
see.
what? I know my mom had the VHS, but honestly, I don't even know where she has it. But it would be great if we can find it again.
That's cool. An M&M commercial. There you go. There's your story right there.
Right?
Very cool. But hey, I kind of want to circle back and talk a little bit about sales, because again, new business owners are listening to this, and you and I talked, sales and numbers is kind of your thing. So being in a competitive market like LA, what's your pricing strategy? Because, pricing matters at the end of the day. How are you coming up with your pricing? Are you going by square foot? Are you going by the hour? Are you using a combination of both? Because there's so many different methods to do, and so many cleaning coaches and mentors out there that'll tell you one thing and another will tell you another. But you're the industry expert. You've been in the industry for 25 years. Like, what's your method to come up with pricing?
So for me, I use both, to be honest. I take into consideration the square footage, but I worked on my numbers so much, especially after what happened to us during COVID, where we pretty much just went out of business. That's where I got my obsession into learning about numbers. I wanted to know every single percentage of my company. So yeah, so I rounded off. So I know what it's my production rate also in every single department that we have. I know my production rate, what we have to be charging an hour for every department, because we do have different rates. So I take both things in consideration, square footage, and then I charge by the hour.
Yeah, I mean, if you're new, you're listening to this, you've got to know your production rates. And I was talking to somebody today too who was just sending out Word document invoicing, and I asked him, how do you know what a P&L is? Are you checking your profit and loss? Had no clue what that was. And so that's just another thing that you really have to know. As a business owner, you have to know your numbers, otherwise you'll be out of business in a hurry.
Correct. Yeah,
So,
that's what's one of the good things I really learned a lot since the beginning, since I started working for my former boss, the one that taught me everything about this industry. So I knew already about accounts payables, receivables, P&L. So I kind of knew all that already. I've been using QuickBooks since 2000, so I know QuickBooks really well. But yeah, that's one of the advices the advice I will give to people that are listening right now. Understand the industry and learn your production rate. Whether it's residential or commercial, I always say learn your production rate. That's really important because that's where everything comes from.
yeah. Yeah. Numbers. You
Right?
got to know them. Yeah. So, we talked about social media earlier too. And I kind of wanted to ask you, because I said it, you're all over the place. Any platform I get on, you're there. And it's amazing to see it. I literally hop on TikTok and you're doing a live, and I just kind of creep in there and take a quick peek, and you got 50,
block
60, you got 50, 60 plus people. Yeah. Block me. Yeah. And it's crazy. And you're out there and you're in Karla mode and you're teaching them. And
I'm hustling, all right? I'm a hustler.
No, you are. No, and it's amazing to see that. But besides TikTok, I mean, are you using any other platforms to get your message out, not just about you, but about your business?
For the business, yes, everything: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, our website, Google. So all of that for the business. Now,
What kind of, oh, sorry, but what kind of stuff are you posting for your business too? Because I talk to a lot of new business owners, and they don't know what to post. And so it's always like, I always tell them, you need to talk about your story. Even if you don't have employees in the beginning, talk about yourself, about how you got into the industry. But what kind of stuff are you posting on social media for your business?
So if it's under my platform, under Karla, I like to be very transparent, and I like to just put real stuff. I don't like to put those fake pictures. I just feel like that's how you connect more with the people, if you put something that's real versus putting a stock picture that people were like, well, I saw this already on somebody else's page. Yeah. Jasmine is the one that usually, like I was telling you earlier, she's the one that handles everything for our commercial side. She's the one that's posting things about, what we really do. So she goes out in the field and she takes pictures of our team, of our buildings. So just posting this type of pictures and content on our social media. That's pretty much what we post.
Do you think it's really important to be posting on social media for your business?
That's a question I still do myself at times, because I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I ran the business for so many years without social media, and I grew it, so much. I'm like, without social media. So I'm like, how is social media becoming a thing now? But social media does play a huge role now. This is where we just pretty much send out our message across now. So social media plays a huge role now. And the way we market residential and the way we market commercial, it's very, very different. Yeah. Very different.
Big time. Yeah.
Yes.
And then how you market yourself too, because that's completely different than marketing your business, because you're your brand. Karla's the brand. And I see that all the time. All the events, again, you're posting everything about those. So,
and you know what? If I have to thank somebody, I have to thank my good friend Raquel. I'm sure you've seen her. She's all about like pictures on everything. I'm more of laid back. Oh my God, I don't want to take pictures. So her phone probably is loaded with so many pictures. Mine is not as much, but that's one thing I learned from her. She's like, create content, Karla, take pictures, do this, do that, work on your personal brand. And I was like, what is this personal brand thing? Like, what? I'm like, I'm just building a company and this other business that I have as well. But I'm like, she's like, no, you have to break your personal brand. You have to put everything that's behind Karla. So I started understanding how that works. And now we're working on my name now. And I guess that's a brand now.
Yep. And you got a cool logo too.
Thank you.
That you've got going on. That was very cool to see. But you mentioned Raquel. She's awesome. I mean, I met her in Dallas, and she's amazing. And you and her both know that I had some health issues within my family, and she was sending me Facebook messages and text messages, constantly checking in on me. So she's really cool.
Like
I mean, like I said, you guys are genuine and real, and that's what I like about you guys.
Yes. Thank you.
So yeah. So to keep running along here, I always like to ask the guests, have you received, because you took over a business for somebody that kind of taught you everything you needed to know in the janitorial industry.
Correct.
And maybe from this person, but have you received any advice from someone that's stuck out to you and that's maybe helped you along your business journey?
In the industry?
Not necessarily the industry. I mean, maybe it's a personal thing or something like that. Just some advice that somebody had given you that's really stuck out.
You know what? One of the speakers that always like stands out for me is Tim Grover. I really like Tim Grover a lot. He's pretty intense and it's all about, taking action, like make it happen, no excuses, let's go. So that's one of the people I like to be listening to when I'm having my down moments, because we have those moments, we're not in a perfect world. We have, we're human at the end of the day. We go through emotions, especially us girls and our hormones when we get in our 40s. You should know, with your wife.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's one of the ones I really like to look for and hear.
No, that's a good one. I thought you were going to quote Pitbull for me, but
no.
You
know what? Even though I like Pitbull, one of the things that really stood in me about Pitbull was one interview that they were doing to him on a Spanish TV show, where he talks about the advice that his grandmother gave him, that how first impression matters. So that's why every single time he's very like all suited up, because to him it's all about the impression that he's going to give on the first time. And I'm sure you know this. He has all these tattoos, but he likes to cover them. Because again, that was the advice that his grandma gave him. So that's one of the things I like about him. He's a businessman now. He just came up with that new product, the cleaning products. So that just right there shows you that we are in the right industry, right? Because of the fact that he has this new product I think it's called Joy. He partnered up with this lady.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Right? Yes. So yes, I am a Pitbull lover too.
I wouldn't say I'm a lover of, I just like the quote, right?
Okay.
That he says, ask for money, get advice, ask for advice, get money twice. But, kind of what you said too, you've met my son, Alex, and I tell him this too, appearance, it's kind of the first thing that people see. And so, if you have your logo, make sure you've got that. Look presentable. If you've got a polo shirt, wear a polo shirt, tuck in your shirt, look presentable. And that makes a big difference, because there's so many commercial cleaning companies selling and they see kind of the same people. But if you make that impression, that first impression and how you look, that can really stand out in your potential client's mind. Right.
Correct. Well, I can see that from you too, giving him that advice, because I think you were in the military, right?
I wasn't. No, people say that.
Okay.
No.
For some reason, I thought you were.
Yeah. No, my grandfather was, and I think he instilled a lot of that in me. I mean, he really ran me around, worked my butt off when I was a kid, and said, you really have to work hard to get what you want. There's no free handouts kind of thing. So yeah, I kind of got that from him.
Okay.
But hey, looking back over the past 20 years, 25 years in the cleaning industry, is there anything that you think you would do differently?
If I would probably do something different, probably I would have chosen a different career. Even though what I went to school for, it did taught me a lot about psychology, on how to understand people and kind of read people. So I think that has helped me when it comes to sales. I kind of understand when I need to, okay, Karla, chill a little bit. This person's getting a little bit uncomfortable. I could see it in his hands expressions or his eyes. But I would have studied more about business and finance. I think those are probably the things I would have probably learned more in my earlier years versus what I did. But everything else,
I think you're still doing very well with what you're doing right now.
Yes, everything else, I think I've been pretty, I'm very grateful. I feel very blessed, with everything I've gone through in the industry, the goods and the bads. I feel like the bads had to happen to build me stronger. I feel I'm in that position where just really, if God says, then you're stopped, then I'm stopped. But if he still has me here, it's because there's still a mission that I still need to complete.
Yeah, no, I love that. So, hey, this is going to bring us to the final segment of the show. I like to play games, and this one I like to call Rapid Fire Roulette. And so I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you get, 3 seconds to give me a quick answer. So you let me know when you're ready, if you're ready to play this.
All right, let me drink some water here.
Okay, get some water. Get some water.
You're going to put me on the spot right now. Okay.
You ready to go?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Your go-to song or music when you're cleaning?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Salsa?
Salsa. Okay. Oh, you're dancing around while you're cleaning. Okay.
Yeah.
So favorite shoes to wear on a job site?
That's a tough one, but I like my Chucks.
Chucks. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm a Chuck girl.
You like to do a lot of events and speak at. So if you could speak at any event in the world, where would it be?
I really love this event that I went to, and it's called Aspire. If I would have the opportunity to speak, I would love to speak at that event.
And have it in like Bora Bora, right?
Yeah. Why
There
not?
you go. There you go.
Show off. You were just there, right?
I was. Yeah. So last question here. What's harder, hiring your first employee or getting your first customer?
I would say for me, hiring my first employee.
Okay. I like that. I mean, both are hard, right? So
yes.
Yeah. No, and thanks for playing the game. So just try to make it fun, right?
Yeah.
Open it up a little bit and get you thinking on your feet.
I love it. I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Well, hey, so before we end here, I like to ask, so 5 years from now, do you still see yourself in the cleaning industry? Because you're building this brand, you're speaking everywhere. I mean, are you still in the cleaning industry 5 years from now?
That's a good question. I had this conversation with my team last time. I told them that I was giving myself until 45 years old to be in the industry. And after that, I want to start into more like maybe real estate. That's where I want to probably end my years. So I think
LA is a good market for that too, right?
Right. Even though it's expensive. But no, I see myself just giving back a lot. Right now, I'm debating if I should still be working, if I should still be doing what I'm doing right now, working with the Hispanic community or working with the youth. Feel the adults, we'll figure things out as we go on in life. Sure. But I feel with the youth is, growing up, I had some things that I needed probably help. And I feel like the youth might need more of my help. So I'm having that little debate right now if I should get that way, because I feel like they really need me and I can connect with them too.
Yeah. I mean, that's a full pivot right there to go from adults to youth. So, but it sounds like you've had that in your mind. So I think you have a path that you want to take on that too.
Yes.
But very cool. I mean, you're going to have to start a new brand of Karla for the youth.
Right.
Now.
Yes. I have three boys. So, they really look up to me and just showing them to be a good heart person and giving back. It's not all about the money and making. It's really that satisfaction of giving back and seeing that return of your time that you give to somebody. When my people, my staff, I call them my people, but they're like my family. Yep. When they come and they tell me, oh, look, I did this, or thank you so much for the opportunity. It's that feeling. It's just so rewarding, knowing that there was someone that believed in them. And I think that's how the youth is. They just need that one person to believe in them and to push them and to encourage them. So yeah.
Well, I think it's with the Latina community that you're helping out too. I mean, right? I see that as well. And I know that's rewarding for you.
Very much.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, 45, I don't know. What do you got? 10 more years to go before you get there?
More like 20, please.
Okay, 20. Sorry, my bad. So, hey, but before we end it, we've got a lot of new commercial cleaning business owners that listen to our show, and they love hearing advice. And I know I've asked you for advice here and there, but you got 25 years in the industry. Do you have any advice for the new business owners, to the new commercial cleaning business owners that are just starting out? Any advice to kind of help them get on the right path?
This is one thing I learned from my coach, Yigal, which I think he's amazing.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
He's been one of the individuals that has given me a lot of clarity. And I think that's where Karla has evolved a lot too. I think having a lot of clarity from the beginning, write down what your goals are. Why are you doing this? Are you doing it to get an approval, or why? Just know why, because sometimes we get into things and then later on we're regretting and we're like, oh my God, why did I get into this? So just the lack of clarity, I think sometimes bites us. So I think having that is really important from the beginning. And if I can just add something else is don't lose yourself when you're in that stage of growth. One of the things, and I don't want to get religious here or anything like that, but one of the things I ask a lot in my prayers, to God is I always tell him, always keep my humbleness. Don't let all these things get to my head, because sometimes we do like that kind of attention. Yep. People, when I was at the event, a couple of weeks ago, they're like, oh my God, can I take a picture with you? Or, oh my God, I really wanted to meet you. So just keep yourself humble in every process and every progress that you're doing in your growth of your company.
I like that. And you denied me from taking a picture with you too, by the way. But
I denied you?
No, I'm just kidding.
You were the conceited one when I met you the first time. I was like, oh my God, this guy.
Wow.
Look at us now here.
That's the last time I bring you on this show. Gee.
Great.
No, hey, had a good time. I mean, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thankful that you decided to say yes and come on the show. I love what you're doing with the Latina community. It's huge. And then it sounds like, you're thinking about doing something with the youth too, which is going to be very
Yes.
cool. So I can't wait to kind of see where you go from here. It's just cool. And I'm glad that you're a person that's in my tribe and that I know.
Thank you, Edwin. Well, the same, I have this very strong admiration towards you. Thank you for allowing me to get to know you a little bit on a personal level. I know you went through a very strong process right now. You guys were definitely in our prayers, and I'm just so excited, so happy that, everything is over for you guys already, and you having me here. I'm just very, very humbled, and thank you. Thank you. I'm actually happy I'm the first female. I hope I'm the first female here.
You
I
are.
was like,
Yes, you are.
I'm like, you should put your wife first. But no, thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope, everything that we share today, it could be some inspiration for somebody that is in that early stage in their business, or they're about to give up and I don't think I can do this. You can definitely do this and more. The cleaning industry has given not only my family, but has given so many other people that has worked for us so much. And if you're looking for something rewarding, this is it. So just go at it and just make it happen. If not, call me and I'll make sure you make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll put all of your social media links. I don't know if there's enough space in the description, but I'll
I
put
feel like I
all of
gave you
those
10.
social media links that you have in there. So if anybody wants to follow you that aren't yet and that want to reach out to you, I'll put all that out there. So,
Yes.
but
Well,
I
thank you.
again, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you, and looking forward to your next big move.
Likewise. Thank you. Hey, I did see your whiskey. I even have like my mug here of coffee. Look, and I always have to have something. Like I
Hey,
can
look,
and I will.
you guys gave this to me
Oh, nice, nice. I
at
like
the
it.
event. So yes, I've got
Coffee
my
or water
whiskey.
inside? Or what does it have inside?
Coffee.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks again. And I know I'll be talking to you shortly.
Thank you. Take care.
And that's a wrap on this episode of Built After Hours. A huge thank you to Karla for dropping so much wisdom and bringing the kind of energy that this industry really needs. From building a brand to building people, Karla's story is a reminder that real leadership starts with investing in yourself and your team. If you got value from today's episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. It helps more cleaning business owners find this show and grow with us. And again, thanks for listening. And I can't wait for you to hear what's coming next week. Another incredible guest, another story worth staying up late for. So we'll see you next time on the Built After Hours podcast.